I'll be sharing some mantras today, and the first one is like a tuning in mantra for unity, and the second part of it is for protection and for blessings on this event. Om Namo Gurudeve Namo. Om Namo Gurudeve Namo. Om Gurudeve Namo. Ad Gure Name Jugad Gure Name Sat Gure Name Sri Gurudeve Ad Gure Name Jugad Gure Name Sat Gure Name Sri Gurudeve Name Sri Gurudeve Sri Gurudeve Name. This next mantra I'd like to share is one I've been chanting a lot through this past year because it prevents disease, it prevents anxiety, and it's Om Sarvapad Vinivarakaya Namaha. Om Sarvapad Vinivarakaya Namaha. Om Sarvapad Vinivarakaya Namaha. And the last one I'd like to share is a healing mantra. It honors the sun and the moon and all the stars and goes out to the universe and brings back healing energy to our planet and for all of us here on earth and for whoever needs it, for all of us. Ramadasa Satse Sohang. 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 Satnam. Many blessings. I look forward to seeing you soon and being with you soon. Enjoy the music. So this is a fundraiser for KZFR Community Radio, kzfr.org, and usually we have an event called Touch of Chico here at the Nature Center of near Cedar Grove in Bidwell Park, which I love this event so much. And this year we're doing it virtually, so please donate what you can. You can go to kzfr.org and please donate, and we really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
So we're going to engage in a breather. We're going to have a little breather because our breath can still be caught. And we can catch ourselves breathing. And that's fine. That's what we're doing all the time. There's a lot of power, there's a lot of hidden abilities in your breath that you can unfold later on. I'm not here to get you ready for sub-zero weather or whatever. You can, with your breath, you can do so much, it turns out. You can heal your body, you can heal your mind, but we're just going to use it to bring ourselves back to the present moment and allow that to bring out our natural sense of peacefulness and joyfulness with this marvelous life in which we are unfolding. So, what's your breath doing? Mostly coming in and going out. So, noticing the breath sometimes, I don't like it, it's too shallow, it's too fast, whatever, don't worry. Just noticing it is totally sufficient. You are a breathing being, so your breath carries on if you're noticing it or not. There's ways to fixate. Sometimes people are going for a meditation with deep samadhi, like a real state of absorption, where all thises and that's and pasts and futures dissolve into some cosmically encompassing now. We're breathing with the motivation of finding peace, discovering a little spaciousness in our thoughts so that we might be of more responsive service, more spontaneous compassion with our fellow beings. So with that, we also can consider going more specific on the sensation that we're aware of with the breathing. So sometimes that might be like the belly expanding on the inhalation and coming in on the exhalation, or sensation of warmth or coolness in the nostrils of the nose, etc. Focusing in more specifically on the sensation of respiration is a way to deepen it, heighten it. Sometimes we even can put like a little, I don't want to say spin, it's not a spin, but an idea about what the breath is bringing, almost like an affirmation. It's a little bit of a mantra. If the thoughts just don't settle down, going bong, 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 bong around, we can say calming this bodily function, I'm going to breathe in, and calming this bodily function, I'm going to breathe out. And indeed, it's a kind of a easy way to find yourself in calm state, in that we're not really doing anything different or new, just observing what's going on with the body reinforces our basic state of relaxation. Mind is there together with the body in the present moment, and you're just noticing of its respiration. Another way of thinking about the meditation or the sensation is to enjoy the entire continuity. Another way to enjoy this state of relaxation is to make a closer attention on the whole body of the respiration. from the total inhalation, beginning of the inhalation to the top of the inhalation, to the start of the exhalation and all the way out and everything in between. So there's just an unbroken continuity of attention. And to remind yourself of that, you can say, experiencing the entire breath body, I'm breathing in. And experiencing the entire breath body, I'm breathing out. And continuing with that for however long is suitable. We're condensing this into just a short little breather, but optimal is about 24 minutes. Some people like it much longer, but 24 minutes and then that's a nice reset on the body-mind. So then having finished that, we have a little bit of energy, a little bit more clarity, and we also want to share that. We dedicate it, the positivity and the merit from that, we say, may it go where it's needed in our lives and in the lives of our community, our kin, family, and our extended family, to all of the beings. This little goodness, of course, is brought to you by the kind folks at KZFR, and we're doing this, again, with their brilliant attitude of community-mindedness. So kick them down some love if you got a little extra to spare with them. And thank you so much for your kind attention.
Thank you, Adam. Hi, I'm Leah.
Hi, I'm Diane.
For the last 5 years, we've organized KZFR's Touch of Chico together. Because we couldn't do that last year, KZFR was inspired to do this two-part series, Uplift Community.
Uplift Community is a fundraiser offering for the community and as a benefit for KZFR, your community radio station, people-powered radio. Please go to www.kzfr.org.
KZFR is here for you, and we need you to be here for KZFR. Please support people-powered radio.
Up next is Allie Meter's Night. Allie is a Mechoopda tribal citizen in occupied territory now called Chico, California. TEK, Traditional Ecological Knowledge Advocate, Artist, and Activist. Up next, Allie.
So my name is Allie Meter's Night. I am a tribal member with the Mechoopda Indian tribe here in Chico, California. And this is occupied Mechoopda territory. We've been here for thousands of years. And recently, 180 years ago, a community experienced occupation through colonization, gold rush, and a lot of California's developing policies that excluded a lot of knowledge of how to manage the land here. And so my endeavor here in the last 20 years is not only teach the children, but the adults and every community member, as well as tribal members, the technology used thousands of years ago, even hundreds of years ago, to manage this land. And when we do that together as a community, we can start dispelling some of those toxic things that colonialism and colonization has done to us, and start embracing community activities, tending the land, and using stewardship as the conduit of our experience together. And I believe that that is the nature of this land, that is the nature of this place, that is the nature of the creeks, that is the nature of the river, and that is the nature of the trees. And every little thing that lives in those places between us is our friends, and we have a steward relationship in the place that we are on this planet. And recently, I've been able to do a lot in this community, mostly because of the support people have been giving me, not only as a Native woman, but just as a champion person who is able to be an artist and an activist to land management and those that need to have a career here forever. And we don't exclude people who are here in Chico. So the nature of how we're going to be is more of how do we include people into the stewardship programs within our community, whether it's sorting acorns or cutting down a tree or actually giving a tree the restorative things that it needs to thrive. All these things matter in our community, and it's really important for me to work with everybody in this community to have love and appreciation for their creeks, our watersheds, and all the positive things that happen around us and all the beautiful blooms. The more that we work together, like at Verbena Fields, we learn stewardship techniques that help us thrive. We understand more about what the beaver does in our creeks. We understand what our role to help the beavers do, sinking the water and recharging our aquifers so that there's water in our aquifers for future generations. The things that we can do today matter for our later generations. There are many ways to get in touch with me. I do have a website called tekchico.org, and you can also email us at tek, that's TEK without dots, tekstewardship@gmail.com. I've had such a great time working with the Mechoopda crew. We've been building a workforce and building up contracts, and we plan on expanding that for years and years to come. Because what we really think that's positive around here is that we legitimately have a workforce between all of us to do good together. And I really want to be instrumental in helping people and helping myself thrive in this place. We all have the ability to thrive, and we should, and it's our job to help each other do that. And I'm willing to do my best for you and for you to do your best for me. And I really want to tell Chico that I love you and welcome to Occupied Mechoopda territory.
Thank you, Allie, and thank you for the work you do in our community.
Up next is Dee Sings. Dee Sings is an artist on the rise from Oak Park, California. Performing since the age of 5 and singing for all her life, there was no question that art was her purpose and singing was her passion. She delivers a raw and graceful message while delivering the beauty and delicacy of the melody. Dee Sings says, "Successful art is a therapeutic form of honesty, and I'm blunt. Art shows me." Listen now to Dee Sings' YouTube video.
Mad at the Black Lives Matter movement, cause it's moving. Will no longer live translucent, here to stay and not moving for 100 years oppression. And they hated that we happy black, our hair, our nose, our lips, our skin, our smile. We love this shit. Comply and you won't die, it's all so simple. Listen, if your skin is black and it stays like that, it's 2.5 strikes against you. This is too much. Where is my wallet? Ahmad Diallo. I gotta cash a check, girl, stop it. Yvonne Smallwood. I'll just go for a drive. Corey Jones. What if I miss a stop sign? Sandra Bland. Okay, I'll just walk to the store. Mike Brown. For snacks and nothing more. Trayvon Martin. I'll jog, so I'll make it quick. Ahmad Aubrey. I got a cell phone if it looks suspicious. Stefan Clark. Okay, I'll just run home so I won't be out long. No running, Walter Scott. Then I'll get strapped to carry my own. Philando Castile. I got a question now, cause this just sounds wrong. No question asking Randy Evans. Then I'll go to sleep. Breonna Taylor. It's our children, it's our mothers, it's our sisters and our brothers, and you wonder why we're mad. Let me say, it's our children, it's our mothers, it's our sisters and our brothers, and you wonder why we're mad. We're forgotten, we're tormented, we're abandoned and heartbroken, and you wonder why we're sad. So take a day and put yourself in my shoes. Take a day, I wonder how would you do? Take a day and take the weight of being black off my back. Use the privilege for change like that. Take a day and put yourself in my shoes. Take a day, I wonder how would you do? Take a day and take the weight of being black off my back. Use the privilege for change like that. Take a day and put yourself in my shoes. Lace them up tight, be careful because they're big boots. Laces of thorn, holes at the bottom, no comfort inside. What happened? Why you not smiling? No, 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 no. I We can't breathe, we can't breathe, we can't breathe. Take a knee, take a knee, take a knee. Yeah. I said take a knee, take a knee, take a knee. Take a knee, take a knee, take a knee. Oh, oh. I said take a knee.
And next up we have Luke Anderson. And Luke is a writer and musician who's lived in the Chico area for over 20 years. And he's going to speak for a few minutes on the value of staying with uncomfortable places, and also then share a song he really recently wrote on that theme called Come Closer In. And if you'd like to get to see more of Luke's writings, you can go to danceawake.com. So here he is. Thank you, Luke.
So my name is Luke Anderson, and I'm going to be sharing a song I recently wrote called Come Closer In. And it has a lot to do with being with ourselves. It seems like a very human thing for us to want to react and move away from pain. And yet, as human beings, really what calls us deeper into our humanity, at least what I find, is being present with all of myself, especially and including the uncomfortable places, the places inside myself that are stuck in reactivity that I need to be present with, the places of grief that come through just living a human life, the places of broken heart that teach me more compassion. And so this song is about this. Come closer into the broken heart. It is love still. Come closer into the burning fire. It is love still. Belonging means being right where we are. As we're falling, life lifts us up and breaks us apart. It is love still. Feel it all the way. Let the moment have you. Stay with yourself, don't turn away. Let the moment have you. Feel it all the way. Let the moment have you. Be with yourself, don't turn away. Let the moment have you. Closer into the broken heart. It is love still. Come closer into the burning fire. It is love still. Belonging means being right where we are. As we're falling, life lifts us up and breaks us apart. It is love still. Drop deep, dark into the well. We're not just here to fly. Include all the ones you shut outside, the ones in denial, the ones who hide. Feel it all the way. Let the moment have you. Stay with yourself, don't turn away. Let the moment have you. Feel it all the way. Let the moment have you. Be with yourself, don't turn away. Let the moment have you.
Thank you, Luke. That was beautiful. And here we are back at KZFR's Uplift Community, reminding you that KZFR is people-powered radio, which means if you can, you want to go to kzfr.org and hit that donate button. Send us what you can, a little bit, a lot, whatever can keep KZFR going and keep them bringing programming like this to you. So thank you if you can do that. And coming up next, we have Christina Wood. And Christina is a professor of psychology emeritus from Butte College, where she was the chair of the Social and Behavioral Sciences Department, and she also developed a certificate program while she was there in Peace and Global Studies, and also a peace psychology course and a mindfulness and meditation course. She's a longtime meditator and yoga instructor and practitioner. She's a mother, grandparent, and a consciousness explorer. And since leaving Butte County, she's opened herself to a more spacious possibility in the world, and she's discovered and pursued a path in consciousness counseling. So Christina's going to give us a talk on medicinal mushrooms. So here she is, Christina Wood.
So I'm here to talk about fungi, and I just want to begin with letting you know that we have something like over 5 million different species of fungi, and more recently people have been doing greater amounts of research to discover the benefits of fungi. And when we look into that, fungi includes things like penicillin, all the way down to mind-altering experiences. Fungi has found to enhance memory, brain function, It's good for dealing with cancer, so it's become a real global research project. And so there's a lot of benefits. My particular topic is going to be really looking at the medicinal properties of psilocybin in particular. And currently there's been an enormous amount of research funded by MAPS, Johns Hopkins University, who are looking into these projects and the benefits of psilocybin for dealing with major problems related to the mind and mental health. So they've investigated how psilocybin is beneficial for major depressive disorders, just trauma, addiction, just very many different disorders. So I'm going to give some references at the end where you can go and do your own research and look at some of the studies that have been produced. My background is in psychology, and as a psychologist, my interests have been the mind, and the mind from a social, emotional perspective, but also from the perspective of healing, dealing with traumas and dealing with psychological well-being. So my whole life and career has been dedicated to that project. So I've taught for 29 years, and I've graduated from that career and started moving into a new career, which is dealing with expanding consciousness and healing through consciousness. And that includes things like meditation and yoga, but also looking into the medicinal mushrooms for healing one's life. And so I want to kind of explain a little bit about the possibilities that are there. I think you have to be somewhat sleeping nowadays if you haven't been aware of the psychedelic sciences that are going on. And so there's extensive research that is pointing in that direction. So I would say from my background in psychology and the things that I used to teach, when we look at trauma, for example, I would say that being born and reared in this culture is a traumatic event. The way that we have structured all of our institutions have been abusive, and in my view. And so I want to kind of talk about that. I mean, when we start to look at how we have been socialized to believe a way of life, our way of life, we've really removed ourselves from really connecting with the deeper meaning of our lives, of our particular selves, but also the life that we're living collectively. So I do not believe that we were designed to enter the world, to grow up within the strictures of a cultural paradigm that forces us to explore how we can fit into that paradigm. And that making money and surviving by making money and finding position and status is probably the push that we've all experienced. But the question I have is, are we living from a true or authentic place? Are we actualizing our lives? Are we living meaningfully? Does our soulfulness feel engaged with what life is about? And I would say that for a lot of people, no. The United States, for example, has a lot of depression and a lot of people on drugs to manage depression and anxiety. My question is, why are we depressed and why are we anxious? From a perspective of psychology, we can look deeper in and say, what have we neglected within our own lives? What have we not paid attention to that gives us meaning? How have we been blocked by the peer group, the society around us that have devalued aspects of what it makes us curious and alive? So, traditional psychology is attempting to help you find a more authentic place. But when it comes to the psychedelic sciences and the psychedelic movement that's taking place in this country, and around the world for that matter, The psilocybin mushrooms is an opportunity to have you go inward and spend some time inward, examining and touching into things like the trauma, things like what is blocking me from an authentic experience of being in this life. A lot of the research currently is indicating that having a good guide, a guide who is well steeped in psychology, a guide who is familiar with the territory of psychedelics, to hold your space and to care for you so you feel safe enough to enter into these realms. So I'll talk a little bit about what a good guide can do. In preparation, typically you have 3 to 5 preparations, which in the shamanic world they call the love, that you're coming into the love of yourself, the love of valuing your life, and the curiosity to see deeper in order to do some healing about your life. And so that portion is like taking intake forms, learning about your biology, learning about your psychology, learning about the traumas or experiences that you've had in life, so that we then begin to work with that, and we begin to help you, the client, shape their intention for entering into a psychedelic experience. And so we have, like I said, 3 to 5 preparation, love space, communication with each other on what it is that you want to get out of the psychedelic experience. After that, after those prep sessions and you know, learning everything about you, you know, in terms of your lifestyle, if you're taking any medications, anything like that, then we set up a time for having a day-long session. And during that day-long session, we guides, you know, welcome you into the space. It's very relaxed. There's usually a little ceremony around entering in or creating sacred space, and then allowing the person to state their intention. At that point, they then take the medicine, and then they're left to be quiet for a bit of time, just to kind of adjust to being in the space of entering deeper into their own lives. After that, the guide is present to take care of them, to meet whatever needs they have, if they're thirsty, if they need to go to the bathroom, so basic needs, but just holding a very safe and very calm space. Typically, a person will don some eye shades so that the focus is not external but internal. And the guide will guide as needed. So whatever shows up is there for you to explore. So that brings to question, some people may have already had psychedelic experiences and had bad trips. When we talk about bad trips, we're really looking at dimensions of ourself that have been unprocessed and have, you know, appeared as shadow content, we can say. And this is something we definitely want to do. We want to enter in to see the shadow content. And what do we know about shadow? Well, shadow is the disowned and disidentified aspect of our own selves. How did we get a shadow? Shadow comes through the process of our development, where we are told or shamed or blamed for certain aspects of being, certain characteristics. So we learn really young in our lives that we have to disown that part and disidentify with that part, because apparently it's unwelcomed within the system, within the family or the school system, peer systems, or social system at any level. And so we become fractured in a sense, and we push that part away from us. And so typically I would say that by pushing that part away, we suppress and repress. The psilocybin kind of removes the hand of repression so that content is accessible. So sometimes we may experience things that are uncomfortable and difficult, and the guide is there to help guide you through that. Likewise, people have ecstatic experiences, things that are so transcendent and so ineffable that it's difficult to put into words, but it also frames an aspect of your being that leads you into a more expanded view of your life, and kind of sinks in to connect you with a more authentic being. There's so much that could be said on that level, but I'm not going to embellish. You can do your own research and exploration into that. So after the journey is over, you are cared for still, you are fed and made sure that you feel really grounded, and usually people are quite reflective of what has just occurred. And another function of the guide is to take notes on significant information that has arisen. So then the person goes home, and about 3 days later they return to their guide and they process. So I was mentioning that the preparation is the sessions of love. The actual session is considered the gift, and the post sessions are considered integration in the lexicon of American tradition, but in the shamanic, it's considered to be the responsibility. You've now a responsibility for the gift that was given. And so in the integration, in that period, we as guides help support you, the client, in integrating the significant pieces that showed up for you. The integration, I would say, is probably the most significant and important part, because we don't want to just have a trip and then that trip is over. We want to take what we've learned in that trip and move it into our lives so that we live, again, a more authentic existence. So in that process, we discover things like whatever showed up for you, how we're going to move that. If it's symbolic, then how are we going to process that and understand that symbolic representation that appeared. Maybe it's time to really turn towards your body and love your body and care for your body and become a healthier body, more engaged, more sensorially present, to love nature, to exercise more, to feed it right. And perhaps stuff shows up around your emotional life and how to touch into being a more available emotionally, how to process trauma. So trauma remains stuck in the body, mind, if it's never been able to process through. So how can we stay close to, honoring ourselves and honoring the experiences that we've had around trauma? And in that process, maybe having to, speak up more, or to speak to certain individuals in your life from a place of love and understanding, to heal. So depression, I would say, I have witnessed people who have had long-term depression shift out of that depression, not entirely, not on just one trip, one journey, but have moved to a more expanded view about their depression and are able to cope much better. So maybe this includes the new coping styles to meditate more, take walks more, to be inward more, to study more. So there's all kinds of outcomes that can happen for an individual. To recognize that they are a spiritual being living in a physical world, and so is everybody else. And there's many things that can arise from these states of being. And it's all unique. No two journeys are ever the same. And I would say I'm very grateful that we have this medicine rising. So I want to say something about that. Back in the 60s, there was a lot of research going on around psychedelics, and there was a lot of great information that came up. But everything went sideways, it went underground again, and it's resurfacing. And it reminds me of how mycelium is. You know, it spreads out throughout the earth and then its fruit bodies rise up. And I feel like, you know, we are part of this. The medicine is calling humans. And whether that medicine is psychedelic mushrooms or ayahuasca or peyote or any of these plant medicines, they're really rising up and they're calling our attention to it. And we need to heal. All of us need to heal, not only ourselves, but our collectivity, each other, creating a collective mind that is caring and compassionate towards the earth, towards each other. So I see that we're in an extraordinary time, and I'm very grateful for that, and I feel like the plants are communicating. There is research on how plants draw us to them so that they can continue to survive and merge with us. So some of the resources that I wanted to mention to you, there's an organization called the Multi-Association of Psychedelic Sciences. The acronym is MAPS. You can go to that organization and they have an archive of research that's been going on from all around the world on all kinds of plant medicine, from CBD or marijuana to psilocybin, ibogaine, just everything. They're doing extensive research and funding. It's a funding body for doing that research, but you can look at that research. There's a book out recently by a man named Christopher Hobbs on medicinal mushrooms, and it's the essential guide, and it covers just almost every kind of edible mushroom that you can imagine. There's another book by Françoise, my teacher, Françoise Borzat, who wrote Consciousness Medicine, and very good book on looking at specifically how to utilize these psychedelic experiences. There's another book by a man named Christopher Beisch called LSD and the Mind of the Universe. Excellent book. He was a professor of religious studies and spent something like 20 years doing extraordinary high doses of LSD in order to explore the mind of the universe. Excellent book. And then there's also, Sam Harris has a podcast on doing mushrooms. He did a mushroom journey kind of recently and what his experience was like. So there's a lot of information out there, and I encourage everybody to start studying that. It's a time, we're in a time to wake up and to grow up, and I don't mean that punitively, but to really evolve. I mean that as really taking an evolutionary step. We need to in order to save ourselves and save the planet. So I have given you a lot of references, but if you feel like contacting me directly, you can by contacting me at woodch227@gmail.com. So I thank you for giving me this time to share with you, and that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Christina. It was fascinating. And up next we have Belltree Lovers, which is Diane Suzuki, Jimmy Brobeck, and Jim Miller. And they're called Belltree Lovers because Suzuki means bell tree. So they're going to sing you a song called Born of Caste. And here they are, Belltree Lovers.
KZFR Community. Hi. We created this virtual event for you to benefit your local community radio station. Go to kzfr.org and donate. Thank you. Born high class, you know better than others. It's your task. You gotta kick some down to others. Gotta make it right for each other. Wanna make it right, uplift all others. Born of caste, social constructs not real. It's our task to reveal, undo, and feel. Gotta make it right for each other. Wanna make it right for the sisters and brothers. Born of task, skin color, race don't matter. It's your task to share the rungs of the ladder. Jesus had it right. He said love one another. Yeah, he had it right. Respect all lovers. Shouldn't matter. Be yourself, no need to defend or flatter. Everyone deserves dignity. Everyone deserves a sense of safety. Born of caste, it's always hard to be poor. The rich and greedy want more and more. Everyone deserves to be fed. Everyone deserves a roof over their heads. Everyone deserves a warm bed. Everyone deserves a roof over their heads. You gotta learn to share. It's a gift to spread the love and care. Buddha had it right. Try to ease the pain of others. Open up your heart, embrace Divine Mother. Born of caste, you gotta learn to share. Take the gift you're given and spread the love and care. Mohammed had it right. He said share with the poor. Be the kind of person that opens the door. Born by class, you know better than others. It's your task. You gotta kick some down to others. Gotta make it right for each other. Gonna make it right. Uplift all others.
Hey, thank you, Beltree lovers. And next up we have Corey Hunt, who is a spoken word artist and social activist who's a frequent contributor to KZFR's Peace and Social Justice Hour. He's performed as Hemp C and with the Ascenders, and he's going to do some spoken word for us. So here he is, Corey Hunt.
The initial declaration said every man is equal, but in the sequel deemed blacks 3/5 and women feeble. Now the marginalized riot and repeat the uprise until the connection is capsized. Tyrants get baptized, liberals get chastised, surprised who's on that side and why. We argue till the sky changes colors and divides into the night. Different leaves, different roots, same trees, reaching for the sun, striving for the change. A new day, to lose less. But when you've never felt the darkness of oppression, the shade of equality can resemble it. Refuse to choose to remain ignorant. Eradicate the hate we're conditioned to live within. We can learn from the flaws of our history from scholars and books, or repeat them by hook or by crook. Trying to find a change, and I kinda find it strange how we while around in pain, while what's left us broken, trying to find a joke to stop the pain that's poking, but it's potent, deep as oceans. No need for quotings, this is real as potions you would rub your nose with in hopes to keep from roasting it. A smallpox and syphilis exposure with no hope of closure from the government that exposure. The Tuskegee and Trail of Tears, they never showed you where I growed up. I had to seek the change and peep the folders. Now like hold up, I speak to show what got us here and how, so we could buy a vowel and solve the puzzle here and now. But they ain't having it. They see your fallacy, they grabbing it. Red herrings fill the cabinet. Deflecting for you, ask them. Yo, try to find a change. Try to find a change. Try to find a change and freedom to fix what we done. Trying to find a change. Trying to find a change. Trying to find a change and freedom to fix what we done. I don't want your handout, I just want my freedom so I can go on and live mine. Can't a fella live his life without you trying to dim my light, deflecting where the cries unite, like bad things ain't never happened to a man that's living right. Or if I ain't lived a perfect life, then I deserve to die. Who can't tell the difference between a bio and a child's life? White folks on the internet been speaking mad crazily, but you ain't clever to the egg, all that's just lack of bravery. I ain't trying to blame you for the past, chattel slavery, but yesterday had to have a yesteryear for the day to be. Until we rectify the flaws of the past, we'll never heal. And if we don't educate ourselves, the children never will. But if we get past the fear and ego, we'll forever build. So open up your mind and find a change, or we never will. They say in the idol's hands is where the devil lives. I'd say the ones tying the noose, these lazy seconds head. Trying to find a change. Trying to find a change. Trying to find a change and freedom to fix what we done. Trying to find a change. We've been trying to find a change. Trying to find a change and freedom to fix what we done. Trying to find a change. Trying to find a change. Trying to find a change and freedom to fix what we done. Trying to find a change. Trying to find a change. Trying to find a change and freedom to fix what we done.
Okay, so here we are at the end of part 2 of our Uplift Community Festival, and we hope that next year we can bring you a Touch of Chico in person when we can all touch each other again. I want to say thank you to everybody that helped make this possible, including especially Leah McKean and Diane Suzuki and Dan Carter and Bill DeBlanc and all of our contributors and performers, and especially you, the listeners. So thank you for those of you who donated, and if you haven't yet, you can still go to KZFR.org and hit that donate button and donate something for us. And I just want to thank you for being here. Hope to see you next year at the Touch of Chico.